tall, so not the biggest barbarian, but I'm jacked.
To hair and braids.
We can put our hands in the way.
What if we put it in two braids and then we wrapped it around and then we gave on the flowers sticking together and then what if we did this?
May I have another drink, please?
Yes, you may. And he goes over.
Put your hands up, it's better!
No. Save your body and constitution, saving throw.
Yes, you, I'm gonna fight you.
He's sort of you guys know who I am, right?
Yeah. Goggles.
You're
Dr.
Robot. Dr. Robot.
What do you do?
Take a moment to try to stop laughing.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing with the other one.
Why not? It worked again.
Hating on Batman.
and I don't hate Batman for the record. I hate the fandom of Batman.
Oh, cool. Okay,
That's the
that's
issue.
way more people.
It is. It's
To
a
hate.
lot like actual human beings.
Were you gonna
You need to rub this crap off your neck and not smell like me. Or Wolf at all. Just start rubbing his neck and just getting like...
I am fairly certain it doesn't matter what I smell like at this point.
To a feline. You have wolf's piss on you.
I'm just gonna point at my feline eyes.
I have some time.
You've just tuned in. We had the brilliant idea while we were fishing at the Dark Moon Festival.
Oh, jeez.
To do a dungeon with fishing poles equipped. Because why not? And so we drank all of the alcohol in our bags, and we equipped our fishing poles and our aquatic pets, and we went to do a dungeon.
I feel like I need to close out. So this was the end of our epic tale. What holds for next week as the heroes set sail? We may find more family, we may find where things start. All we know is to follow our heart. So our heroes set forth to pillage and to wander in the magical continent of wonder. We have one more question. I hope to not blunder. Question for you, dear friends. Do you wonder? Thank you, guys. Indigo Connect. Hi, everybody. How's it going? It is Tuesday.
Yes.
It's Tuesday. No, yes, it's
Yes.
Tuesday night, and it is time for another episode of Wonder, a group of heroes exploring Wonderland years after the events of the story of Alice in Wonderland took place. We've got a few announcements before we get started with tonight's episode. You should come hang out with us, dear viewer, on the Discord. We have all sorts of scheduling announcements and things of that sort that happen on the Discord, along with memes and a play-by-post run by our very talented Gypsy Wolf. No RPG experience necessary, but you get to create a character in a circus that is not quite what it seems, and I highly recommend you come and check that out. So you can do that by following us on our Discord and hanging out with us. There is also a shop. Yes, we've got a store as well, where we sell awesome, cool, fun things like this water bottle with karma on it, and T-shirts and prints and adult diapers. There's a bunch of different things on this shop.
I don't think there are adult diapers.
Well, scientists are still unsure. So, so check out that store and help support the brand. Miss Audie, let's unlock Edwin's tragic backstory. Yeah. More of that later. We've got a bunch of different shows happening here on the channel this week to celebrate 500 Week. Thanks to you and our amazing audience and players and group of people, we have finally hit 500 followers. So thank you so much. It's the first in many steps that we're going to take to sort of spread the goodness that is Indigo Chameleon. It's not awkward. So yes. This week, we have this particular show, and then Wednesday night, we're Indigo and Chameleon and I are over on the Plastered Dragon, doing their modern day 5e game called Something Wicked This Way Comes. It's set in Boston. Something wicked this way comes. Okay, good. I feel better. Thursday night here on the channel, we've got a special one-shot that's going to be the very first one-shot set in Neverland as we dive into the Indigo Chameleon Explorers League. Hi, Icky, and Icky's actually playing in that game. Hello, Miss Nina, and everybody in the chat, and hello, Wolf. So yeah, come and join us for that. Wolf is also playing in that game, so you'll have to tune in and see. They've got some amazing characters. I don't want to spoil anything, and the adventure is really fun. We're gonna dive into a little bit of the what the Tired is, and get into some more heavy stuff when it comes to Neverland and the basics found therein. So that's what's happening on Thursday. On Friday, we've got an episode of Neverland. We've got it. We're fine. An episode of Neverland where the group is going to be going on their first sort of monster hunt. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We encourage you to tune in for that. And there's a good chance that should they survive, they will be leveling up after that episode. So you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and then you have that episode of Neverland. And then we go to Sunday night. Sunday night is going to be super chill. What's it going to be? I don't know. But super chill. It's going to be probably Indigo and I hanging out, talking about something. Maybe we'll talk about some upcoming things that are happening here on the channel and some things we've got planned. But it's going to be a relatively low-key sort of look into the life. And then we cycle back around for something cool on Monday. Monday, I've been thinking about this because our schedules are going to get really busy. So I'm contemplating, I have to talk, but I'm contemplating doing another Crab Truckers. So, mother effing Crab Truckers. It's a lot of fun. It's an amazingly fun game. I think we're gonna buy some Natty Lights. I think we're gonna set it up and play some other effing Crab Truckers. But stay tuned to the Discord for all that information. Tonight we have a contest. Now here's the deal with the contest. The past couple of nights I've been drawing the contest near the end of the episode. Tonight, I'm going to draw it at a random part in the episode tonight. It could be near the end, it could be within the next 15 minutes, because I want to keep things spicy. I want to keep the relationship fresh. So tonight, you're going to type in the perfect drink for that game. Yes, Icky. Tonight you're going to type in this word. You're going to type it in one time and one time only, and that's going to help you participate in the contest. And you are going to win one of these Indigo Chameleon 500. They're so cool. They're heavy. They're these gold coins. And what I think I'm going to do is if I get players that play D&D that win
not real gold.
Hashtag not real gold. But if I get players that play D&D that all win these coins, I think I'm going to do a special Indigo Chameleon 500 one-shot. That'll just be something kind of cool and fun and special. So participate. Try to win one of these tonight. And I think that's it. I think that's it for announcements. When last we left our band of heroes, our group of heroes began their dive into the underworld, and it was not as it was what they thought it was going to be. Their good buddy Grim was not feeling 100% like himself, and was out searching for his missing piece. If you didn't see it, last night there was a one-shot where he sort of hooked up with a new spiritual buddy. That's the cop movie that I'm looking forward to writing alongside of him. And you'll have to tune in for all of that, and a big lore dump when it comes to Wonderland and things of that sort. But that will be up on our Twitch and YouTube. But joining the group, once they made their way into Hell and into the bar called
Righteousness.
That's right. Where they hid. They met Fix. Fix is this fun little druid. He's a halfling?
He's a halfling.
Halfling druid, and he's got a good buddy Dash, who's a squirrel. That's his sort of spiritual focus and things of that sort. And alongside them, they went exploring sort of the outer reaches. Turns out that all of the patrons in the Bar of Righteousness are old followers of the Cheshire Cat. They have not been granted the afterlife that they were so promised, and are in a bit of a holding pattern until Cheshire comes back to get them. they sent the group through this sort of small town in the underworld to the outskirts of the city to find a group of people that lived in the forest that they believed might be able to help our band of adventurers. Upon entering the forest and seeing this sort of spanning tree area, a bunch of tree folk landed on the ground, and upon removing their mask and their armor, they appear to be that of Enwyn's people, the Sylvan. And one of them said the word Enwyn, and that is where we left our heroes. So, all of that being said, heroes, what would you like to do?
Do they have chains on them?
I would say that for the most part, give me a perception check. For anybody that's looking for this particular thing.
17.
Okay, 17. Yes, they do have chains on them. As you sort of, you instinctively look for where it's leashed on the arm or leashed on the ankle or something along those lines. Unlike the rest of the people that you have encountered here, the chain is there for a few seconds and then gone. And then there for a few seconds and gone. And it doesn't seem to be any discernible pattern, but it's there, and then it's gone, and then it's there, but it always appears in the same spot.
On everyone at once there and then
If you
gone,
would like to
or
make
is
a
it like-
perception check to
Okay.
look for this as well, you are more than welcome to.
No, because I'm paying attention
Yeah.
to him, so I'm
So
not
that is what you notice.
Okay.
So I was speaking to them in Sylvan before, so I would have understood
Right.
that. You know him?
The other three members of the group that had surrounded you take off their mask and sort of all ignore you. And in fact, one of them, sort of a little taller than Enwyn, sort of shoves you off to the side a little bit and gets in his face and says, "This can't be him."
How tall were you expecting?
We can't have this conversation here.
I suspect we can't.
He goes forward to grab his sword towards you, Enwyn, and a hand claps down on his shoulder and sort of shakes a head and says, "No, not here. Back at camp. We would like you to join us at camp. Please."
Fine.
And they go over to where their armor is, and three of them put their armor back on and their hoods on, but the one that took a step forward towards Enwyn keeps staring at him and maintains eye contact, puts the mask back on, and very blatantly takes the knife and puts it up against his throat and turns back and walks into the forest.
Just like home.
So what's so special about this Enwyn guy?
Everything.
Wait, they still have a knife to his throat?
No.
they-
He was
they
just
put
making
it
looked
in
at
and
him.
walked away. Okay.
And then walked
Yeah.
to himself.
Okay. Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah. So a few things you need to know before we start dealing with them. Don't give them your name. Don't take any gifts unless they've made it very clear that they don't expect anything in return. And do not drink with them.
So you try and take all the fun out of being around these new people? No offense.
Go for it then. Enjoy. Please.
Oh God, Fix is gonna start talking.
Oh my gosh. No, Fix, come back. You should really listen to him because he's correct about the things he said.
But he was saying like it's all right to go drink with them.
No, it's the people. It's because he's.
Fix, dear, you know how you're here because you want to be?
Alright.
Well, if you do any of these things that he has just laid out in front of you, give your name, drink their drink, take gifts from them, you will be forced to stay here. And I don't take you as someone who likes to be forced to do many things.
No, because that gets rid of all the adventures you could have.
Exactly! So let's avoid those things that will deny us the adventures. How are you with that?
He's just gonna grab the hilt of his little dagger and just gonna kind of like keep a watch fire and just be all like scanning the room.
I think I got through to him.
I'll lean into Inwen and say, I noticed no rules about killing that one? The one who shoved me?
Oh, that one's mine. You don't get to do that either.
Well, you are correct.
Are you
He's
gonna-
taken all the fun out of this.
I like this one.
Are you going to tell us anything about them or why they're acting the way that they are towards you?
I left.
You left.
They didn't want me to.
They're acting like this because you left when they didn't want you to? That's it?
It's a bit more complicated than that, but mostly,
Well, I left when my people didn't want me to, but that's not how they treated me. How did you leave? What did you do?
Can we get to camp? Somewhere safe.
Yeah, you're right.
Dave's just gonna, like, look at him and nod, like, understandingly. I get it.
Sure. The last sort of guy standing is standing a little ways off, and he's just sort of staring at the group intently. And as you sort of finish up your conversation and turn to make your way towards him, he sort of stops and says, "Are you ready?"
I suppose so.
Be quick. Don't get left behind. And he'll turn and make his way into the woods. It's a long trek. It's hard to, like I said, keep track of time here because everything maintains this sort of dark twilight. There's no real sun or anything like that. It's sort of this foggy haze that sort of sets over everything. He does not wait for you. He maintains this path, sort of twisting through branches and things of that sort, going at a pace which seems otherworldly, pun intended, as he makes his way, crawling in between spaces, moving in between trees and stepping on rocks. He'll get to a small area where it's a plain, solid sort of stone wall, and he'll turn back and look at the group. And he'll take the hood off, and he'll say, "You came in with him, so already you're coming in on a bad foot. If you make a move towards my people, if this is a joke of any kind, I'll kill you. You're not wearing chains, so I'll assume I can, and it'll be fun. I'll enjoy it. Because it's the right thing to do. For my people. Is that understood?"
Question. Are your people also his people and his people your people? Are they the same people?
No.
Noted.
His people don't seem like they have a stick up the butt.
He has no people. He made that very clear.
He actually does have people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's one that's not here right now, but her too. She's big and purple, but she's there. And then there's a little mouse man, and he has a bunch of people. So.
Do you accept this claim?
I do.
Fine.
We don't mean any harm. We were
No.
just passing through.
Welcome, people of Enwin. And he will step through the stone.
On that walk, I would be looking for any alchemic ingredients, specifically brimstone.
Okay, give me an investigation check. We'll retcon this as you're sort of walking about. Here's the deal. You're going to have a chance to make one because, like I said, he's not slowing
moving
down,
quickly.
and you're going to have to almost scoop this up on the way in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a
12. You find some rocks and things of that sort, and you think it's kind of what Bartholomew mentioned might be brimstone, something that he could work with, and you very haphazardly kind of scoop up a handful and put it into a pouch. The pouch gets warm, but it doesn't seem to burn through the pouch.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Who steps through the stone wall? 1.
I would have followed
2.
Yeah, if he goes right.
Everybody goes.
Yeah.
Okay. You step through this stone wall. This is on a lesser scale, very, very lesser scale. Much like the city of Dinah. When you walk in, you see quite a few of the Silva there. They look all a little bit like Enwyn, all green, all sort of plant material. All of them full grown, no children. None of them showing any signs of age, all sort of frozen at the age that you see him, sort of solid figures. There are a lot of them when you get in. I would say 20 or 30 at least in this area. As you make your way in, all sort of talk stops as they all turn. And the gentleman that was walking with you before says, "Greetings, my people. Here is Enwyn and the court of Enwyn paying attendance." And he will turn back and smile at all of you and walk forward into the space. One of the guards that was outside earlier, she looks the same. Everybody tends to look very similar, but she has a bit more feminine features. She's a little lither. She's a little taller than you saw the individual from before, and she is now, the mask is gone, and she's wearing plain brown robes. She says, "You'll have to forgive Banna. He is wounds take a while to heal, even here. So, yes, it is very nice to meet all of you. I'm Shock, and Enwyn, I know you do not believe it, but it is very good to see you.
All right.
How are you?"
More alive than you, it seems.
Yes.
When I told you to go to hell, I didn't quite mean literally.
No. I thought it quite funny, but no one else did.
That's a word for it.
Why don't we go a place a little more private? I'm afraid that Banna might have poisoned the well a bit.
Indeed.
So Shock will walk forward through this area, and you'll notice that as people walk by, there will be sort of whispers about them as all eyes are on Enwyn. Like, no one's paying any attention to you guys whatsoever. As you make your way through the area and start walking along, she will take you over to a small sort of cave outcropping, and that has a rudimentary sort of sheet sort of up for privacy, and there seems to be a circular space. Banna is in the room. There is another man in the room as well who seems to be whispering to Banna, and there is another figure off to the side wearing brown robes as well, who looks a little bit more female. So 2 males, and then another female in the room. As Shock walks forward, she says, "If you all don't mind, I would like a little bit of time with our new council, our new allies."
That's presumptuous.
She sighs and puts her head down, and Banna laughs. Yes, well, that is to be determined. So, please, just a moment, and then we can all have a conversation. And Banna will walk and grab his spear and look at everyone in the room, tap the other male on the shoulder, and they will walk out. And the other female in the room will keep her eyes to the ground and walk out of the room as well. So, you are alive.
And you're not. How'd you end up here?
I was going to ask you. Why are we here? We are sorry for not letting you go, and if this was a punishment on your behalf, this could have been arranged in a different way. The fire that claimed us, normally fire is cleansing when it comes to nature, but we did not arise from the ashes. The tree is gone. This was not your doing.
I had nothing to do with it.
Do you swear to me?
I do.
Thrice swear?
Thrice swear.
Oh dear. Can they be trusted?
Most of them.
We don't die. Our people have never been concerned with that of an afterlife because as our physical form passes on, another seed is dropped from the mother tree, and after a few years, our memories start to come back to us. We continue to live on over and over again. Some of us use that time to pursue knowledge and enlightenment. Others of us use that time to explore or spread outward. Our people were a somewhat simple people. We were silk farmers. As you can see from the little spider over there, it brings back fond memories. So we should not be here. And it is becoming more and more confusing now that I have no one to blame.
Well, that's what you were looking for. Someone to blame.
No, Enwin, I was looking for some sort of grace for our people who are confused and frightened and scared and needed a name for the monster. You were not here with us. You weren't around us. And what was I to think? There were screams and yelling of us to let you go and explore the world. And then the next thing I know, everything around me is fire. So you tell me, Enwin.
It says more about you than it does me that you thought it was something I would do.
Our people have been around for a long time in Wonder and beyond. And when there is a reason why we all thought you capable of this would not have been the first time you tried something like this. Our people have a council spread throughout the land of Wonder. There are 9 people on the council. 9 individuals for whom serve, each coming from a different village or mother tree, that meet and discuss the futures of our people. 9 in total, until one decided that 9 was not enough. That the choice should be given to more than 9 about the future of their race. That the rest of the people should have a say in matters. There was great arguing and things set forth into motion, and Enwin lost his physical form. It was not purely selfish of us to want you to stay, Enwin, because you had no idea of what you were to become. It takes years for a Sylvan to get their memory back, and you were on the cusp until something, a bug, got in your ear. You're a heretic, Enwin.
Oh, you've made that clear. Now, why did you think to not tell me until I was 3 is a whole...
How was I to communicate this to you? How was I to tell you this boy that wanted to explore and wanted to dream out there and move past the mother tree had a responsibility to his people, that had once before thought to shake up the system? When I thought that under the right circumstances I could change that we all could, Enwin. You were our leader. You still are. And you are here at the right time. And she will go over to a small box at the center of the room. Look behind her shoulders, lift it up onto a pedestal, and tentatively reach inside, pulling out a brown parcel. As she unwraps the brown cloth ceremoniously from the parcel, Held within her hands is a small brown sphere about basketball size. And she goes, "This is the seed of the mother tree. We managed to retrieve it. It came with us, but it needs to be planted. That's why you're here. Edwin, you're here to save us all." And she will outstretch her arms towards you, holding this small brown seed that contains with it the growings of the mother tree.
I'll take it. So if I plant this, you'll come back.
Yes. The tree will grow, the seeds will drop, we will receive new bodies. We can continue our work, we can continue our path towards growth. And you will become the savior of our people, something you were always meant to be.
He's gonna gently put it in the bag.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I know that was a lot, and you don't know of us. I swear to you, our people can be hospitable to a degree. While you are here, you are guest, and under the full rights of hospitality. Do not accept gifts from anyone here. Do you understand? Have you already read them, the Riot Act?
More or less.
All right. Any food or drink given to you by my hands is free of consequence. Is that understood?
So we can only eat what you give us.
Yes.
So what makes you so special versus all the other people?
I believe in Edwin. That's what makes me special.
When you say from your hand, does that mean it has to be physically from your hand, or can you put it
No,
in something?
no, it is brought from me.
You specifically?
Yes. You could trust Kura as well. She was the other female in the room at the time. She's a bit shy. You may not hear a lot from her, but Kura is also sympathetic to the cause. I have great faith in you.
If
Yes.
I understand the Fey rule correctly, if we were to help Enwin with this task,
Yes.
the Fey would owe us all a great debt.
No. If they had asked you, and they're not asking you, are they?
I am asking you. I am asking you to protect Enwin, and in return, I will owe you a great debt. This favor is extended to each and every one of you. Within that satchel contains the lives of our people.
And if we don't succeed, do we in turn owe you a debt?
My dear boy, if you don't succeed, you will owe no one anything. Ever again.
I had to be sure.
Sounds pretty ominous to me.
That was just the thunder.
Can you... It's a lot to ask, but if we're able to do this and you say you will owe us something, can you restore memories?
To a degree, that is within my scope.
Okay.
I can give answers, but I'm not. I will tell you what I have told others in the past, and in particular anyone. You may not always like the answers that you receive. Buyer beware. Yes. Enough of this sadness and doom and gloom. This is a day of celebration, and in the darkest of places, light has broken through the canopy and shined upon us. We have very, very meager things here. We do not require food or drink, but we have been known to grant that in exchange for protection. So what we have is at your disposal. We shall gather water and what meager meats and food that we have, and we will prepare a feast. You are welcome to rest here for the evening if you would like, and then head back to your plane, correct?
Not quite. We're going to the jail first. We're told you could help us with that.
I'm sorry. What?
We were told you could help us get in the jail.
By whom?
By a man whose name someone else is about to tell me. My laptop died.
Ravenger.
By the mother tree. Yes, of course. I cannot help you. But by the gods, I know someone who can.
And that being?
He is the king.
Of
Just the king. If you give me a bit of time, I can arrange for him to meet us. Or, better yet, I can arrange for you to meet with him. Yes?
Not a bad idea.
no strings attached.
Yes, one very large string. I am not doing this out of the kindness of my heart. That is not my people's way. I am doing this because this is the surest way to get you back to the plane in which the tree can grow safely. I do not mean offense by this. I am being truthful.
We respect it. Why?
I'm just trying to figure out the terms.
There are no terms. Eat, rest. Give me a few minutes, and she will walk out of the room, leaving you to a little bit of privacy.
What person leaves their people?
That's not a question you want to ask here.
I did.
Well, I mean, I also did, but like, mine was like different circumstances. But like, you have everyone here who's really into helping right now, and like, you don't seem at all the slightest phased by how.
I don't like you.
I've heard that a lot, but that's all right because it's just curious, I suppose.
Everyone has their reasons for leaving.
There is a sound of commotion out front as Bana comes walking back into the room, spear drawn, and makes a beeline towards Enwin. He takes a hand and grabs him by the scruff of his shirt and takes the spear up. Shock is behind him, trying to pull him back, as well as Kura. Jara is doing nothing to stop this. And he's like, "This is bullshit.
You're not wrong.
This is bullshit."
Do you want to just keep saying it, or should you continue telling me things I know?
Is this what hospitality looks like?
Oh, it wasn't promised by anyone else.
He will look back at Shock, and Shock will stand there with her arms crossed, sort of staring up at him defiantly. He says, "I didn't offer you hospitality. My vote was to run you through the minute we saw you all in the woods, to sell your bodies to traders. That was my vote."
Mandrake's gonna step forward, take off his hat, brush the top, and say, "It appears you were outvoted."
I didn't come alone.
Oh.
He will let go of your shirt. This thing between you and I, between your people, between your new people.
We prefer the names, the nameless.
That's fitting.
Isn't it?
I'll know what to carve in your tombstone.
Good.
And he'll walk out of the room.
Didn't he just say they don't die?
They don't. Would you like to say that out loud?
Would you?
Billy says to Aubrey Faye for like the 100th time. Who said that? When the talking donkey said.
There's a talking doggy. What?
Shock
It was a
breathes a
squirrel.
sigh of relief as Vanna and Jara walk out of the room. And she will sort of make a sound that's odd to all of you. It is the sound of sort of leaves rustling in the wind and things of that sort. And a group of the Silva will come in, each bearing some things of water and meat that looks very well done. You don't know if that's a safety precaution or if these people are just not used to cooking meat because they don't really eat. But they're like, and they pass over this sort of tray, and a lot of them stay in the room and look at all of you, and a lot of them are scanning Enwin, just looking for any sign of a chain.
Mantrix going to turn to Shock and say, "Is this all from you?"
Yes, all of this is from me. Ooh, hang on. All of this is from me. And there is a sort of look over to her, and one of the gentlemen walks over to a small plate of food and takes it off of the larger plate and walks it out of the room. Thank you.
Fix is running right over the place, like eyeing everything, with like.
Would you like to introduce me? Or introduce them? Or would you feel comfortable not doing that?
I prefer not to, I suspect.
I fully understand. Your journeys must have been harrowing. Can you share with us how you got here?
Fix is exploding with excitement. He's like, well, first of all,
As soon as you say that, the Silver are not used to this, and all of them sort of jump back and sort of sit on the ground, and then as Fix goes about, give me a performance check, just for giggles as you get gregarious.
Oh.
Nat 1?
No,
No.
this is a 7.
7. It's okay. But they're, honestly, the
story's
bar's
not great.
The bar set real low. They haven't had Netflix for a while, and this is you reenacting that episode of Friends, and then Chandler got his head stuck in it's like
I'm YouTube 2006. Got it. Done. Yeah.
They sit in that room with you and just sort of stare at you while you eat. It is the same sort of awkward, sort of like, I'm bad at peopling. Like, Enwin does, like, you realize that Enwin was the charismatic one of the group. And it scared you very badly. Like, he was the gregarious one.
Do we talk to them? Do they talk to us?
You're
Do
welcome
we
to.
sit here and do nothing?
You could, pretend that they're actually people who can hear you.
I mean, I know they can hear
We
me.
can't hear you.
Oh, hello, dear.
Hello.
So, how was your day?
Mostly dark and dreary as we are in the underworld.
Well, yes, that seems to be a recurring theme here.
I was in the cave for quite a bit of time, and then I left the cave.
And then you came back to the cave. Is this the cave? This is the cave, right? The whole cave.
We can still hear you.
I know.
Well, hell ain't so bad. I mean, there's awful good old people that reside here.
Where do your adventures take you tomorrow?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Mantrix gonna look at Enwin and like.
Who is just literally just.
Dear God, make me a bird so I can fly away. Dear God, make me a bird so I can fly away.
Turn me to stone.
What do you know of the Obsidian Castle?
We know it is a prison. We know that there are many souls trapped within its depths. We hear screams that reach all the way here on some nights.
Do you know of an easy way in or out?
No, we have no need to go inside. The king might.
So we've heard.
Can you tell us more about this king?
He will look over at Shock, and she will nod her head, and he will say, he is very gregarious. He tells tales. He is smaller than some of you. some of you, and his hand is odd. It is not of organic material, which we find confusing at times.
So what's his hand do then? If it's not like one of these,
It's
like is it like
it does this.
Ooh, so it sounds like a monster eating fried chips.
I don't know what some of those words mean, but yes.
We got it. We got it.
Oh, he is alive, like you. He wears no chain upon him,
Why does he go by the name King?
by his request.
Does it have anything to do with who he was before?
I am not sure. He does not give us his name.
Smart man.
We are provided no insight to who he is.
How does he know so much?
With his brain.
That makes sense.
I guess.
I am uncomfortable.
Is that your name?
No.
Usually when people give names, they say, "Hi, my name is uncomfortable."
Yeah.
And
We don't do that here.
Oh, all right.
Has there been sunlight here at all, or has everything been kind of gloomy all the time?
Kind of gloomy all the time.
I don't want to overstep any bounds or upset anybody, but maybe it might be a nice thing for them. Like, I can make it light, like daylight light. Like, it might be like sun. Like, I don't know if it would help, and I don't know if it would do anything.
The gentleman that you've been talking to goes running out of the room. A few seconds pass, and the room gets flooded with about as many people as can cram into the space.
I think you should do it.
Okay. So I cast daylight up in the air. As this is in a wooded area, right?
No, you are inside a cave, a small
Okay, inside a
sort of
cave.
circular
So,
system,
but
yeah.
it's a 60-foot sphere. So I'm
You
basically
walked
going to
through
kind of
a
go
stone wall. That was a
to the
foot
center of the
room.
group and up, so that it radiates out 60 feet.
There are. Here's what happens. I play this right. All the civilians come in and start stripping down, butt naked, getting as close to it as you can. And you guys didn't have a chance to get out before this room got swamped, so it turns into kind of a sexy time mosh pit. As everybody starts taking off their clothes and sort of trying to soak up as much of this sun as possible. And there is almost reverence. You've seen this sort of adulation, like if you've gone to a temple, if you've seen people worship in a church, they look at this sun. They are not crying, but it's as close to someone having tears in their eyes as possible. And how long does it last?
It lasts for 1 hour.
Yeah.
So how tall are these beings?
6 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to point out that if they're 6 feet, I'm 3'1", and they're nude.
Oh, you are face first with some tree dongles, my dude. Like
low hanging
like-
fruit. Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, yeah.
Just thank you so very much.
Yeah, like
They
you
just
could.
sort of Thoey, I see what you saw in him now.
Yeah.
Get off my shoulder.
I get it.
Yeah, but there are feminine Silva and male Silva, but yeah, you are just yeah.
Are there any like outcroppings from the stone that I could like?
There's some climbing holds. That you're
Yeah, no, like stone.
No, you
not...
you could play the excuse me game and try to work your way out into this main chamber, out into the main area, which is a lot bigger. Like if she had decided to cast it in the large chamber, like it can accommodate everybody. You guys were in a small room, and
right?
Like, hey, would you guys like some sunlight? Everybody like crowded in. I was like, okay. I got these Doritos. Like,
Just laying it up against the wall, like, yep.
everyone's like, oh, this is so uncomfortable.
I hate doing this in public, but let's take it.
Now, what time of day is it? Like, we're sleeping here for the night,
You
and then
have
we're going the next day.
you have no idea.
Okay.
But
Alright.
you are resting for the evening.
We are resting for the evening. Okay, so then I'm gonna do 2 hours of that. But if this is a small enough cave and we can move to a larger cave, we'll move to a larger cave for the second.
There is
half of that.
an outcry after that hour falls away, and you have unfortunately, you have 30 or 40 individuals clamoring, like, please, again.
Actually, because we're gonna sleep, I can give them a full 4 hours. 'Cause
Okay.
That's what he needs, right? Yeah.
Yeah, there is
I
a
can
there
give
is a
a full 4 hours.
there is a clamoring, and then you move out to the main chamber, and so some of you can choose to be in this main chamber and continue conversations with individuals, or as everyone moves out of this chamber, Shock starts bringing in what sort of bedding she can muster and setting it up in this small chamber.
Mandrake would try to get a conversation with Shock at some point.
Yeah, you are occupied for 4
Yeah.
hours. Like you are in that main area.
No, that's
and
fine. I'm gonna try to talk to Enwin at some point, but it's not.
People are just ecstatic. Like people are close too. Like they're gathering as close as they can to you, because I think do you center it on a point? Does it come
It's
forth from your
centered
hand?
to cover as many people as possible. So in whatever space we happen to be in, it would be the center of the space to radiate outwards.
People are looking at you with awe. They don't worship a god, but if they did, you'd be close. Okay?
Your people really like me.
You're not wrong. First sunlight they've seen in a while.
You hear a sound pipe up from the distance. Enwin, is this your beloved?
No.
Who is she to you? She is part of your clan, yes?
Aye.
But she is not your mate?
No.
Why?
Friendzone.
What is fire? Get together. They
Hang on, you get that right? It's
Right. Oh yeah, no, I got
okay,
that.
yeah.
Hey, I got a new dagger. Just put that in my inventory.
This is the friend zone dagger. You're gonna want to hold on to this. Once a day, you can give someone disadvantage on all charisma checks.
Nice! Friend zone dagger.
Yeah.
I had that all through high school.
It's a tune.
Stop.
I think the question is just sort of ignored, but people soak up the sun. Shock takes a brief couple of seconds to set up bedding, so you can catch her back in the main chamber as she wants to get as much sunlight as she can to get that 4 hours. Yes, how can I help you? And when clan.
A couple of things. First of all, is this brimstone? He's gonna pull out the rocks that he found.
No, those are rocks.
Do you know where I could find some brimstone?
That is not my area of expertise, but I could ask around if you like.
That's all right.
We are happy to give you this gift.
I politely decline.
Good.
Is there a way, as it would help protect Enwin, to give us those? And he's going to point at the chains.
She will begin to laugh. She was like, would if I could. I would remove them now and give you all of them to be used at your leisure. These are what tie us to the plane.
A deception.
A deception.
To help us blend in.
Give me a persuasion check.
Um, 15?
She thinks I will do my best to find a facsimile therein. If you have magic users amongst you that can create illusions, this might be of more help to you.
I have a mimic.
We have a Hulk. Dull.
Illusions only fool the eyes. I feel we may need something more.
I will see what I can do. I only do this because Enwin seeks to set our people free from this ghastly realm.
And this is a favor you do for you, not for me.
Please stop using that word. You use it too freely, especially in his presence.
I'm learning.
I know you are. A fire burns. It has no other choice to do so. It does not want to burn you. It does not wish you ill will, but a fire burns. You cannot change its nature.
He has proven himself trustworthy with us. At least thus far.
I had always hoped he would.
Never mind.
There's much soaking up sun. There's much eating and drinking of the supplies that have been given to you. If you wish, if there's something that you wanted to have a conversation with, I know you said that you wanted to have a conversation with Enwin as things are sort of quieting down. After the 4 hours of the sunlight spell, there is everybody's got a lot more color, figuratively and literally. Like, everybody seems to have a little bit more pep in their step. And you don't know if it's psychosomatic or whatever it is, but like they are up. The cave is a bustle. There seems to be conversation, talk. The fortifications around the cave are being worked on. Weapons are being fashioned. And you notice that even Bana was amongst those soaking up the sun, like even with his feelings toward him. So there is a flurry about the cave.
I'm sure they're glad they didn't kill us now.
Maybe we can stop back by here on the way. I mean, honestly, anyway, I was thinking that maybe if we're going to go to the keep, perhaps we should leave the seed here just for safekeeping so that nothing accidentally happens to it.
Did we have to go back to the place we started to get back? The way that we... No. Okay.
If the king has a different route...
Okay.
I meant the thing we have. Does that have to be used in that little supply closet in the bar? Is this a conversation you are having with the group, or is this a conversation that like, I'm asking,
hey Billy, I just met you. This is crazy. You're asking me.
Yes, I'm asking.
You have no idea. This was not covered when it came up with Felrin and stuff like that. The exit strategy is you can use the amulet once a day.
Yes.
It'll take 7 people back with you. You came in with 5.
Yeah.
And you've picked up 1.
Yes.
I prefer to stay on the ground.
Cool. Never mind.
Cool.
Okay, so we don't know at this point, like until the king arrives.
You have no way of knowing
Okay.
whether you're going to have to go back to the keep. I think if you're having this conversation out loud enough, Shock would say, no. You cannot leave it here. It is in his possession. There are others who disagree with me, and it may not be as easy the second time to get this to him.
There are probably still people around, as I'm going to say loudly enough for other people to hear. I know that people have mixed feelings about his history, but I can tell you he's a good person. He's been kind, and he's been helpful, and he's been brave, and we're going to do everything that we can to make sure that this seed gets planted. I promise you.
Do you hear that? Fellow brothers and sisters, he's a good person. Not a good Sylvan. He is a good person. He is kind, he is compassionate, he is brave. When not with us. How good of him. How noble of him. Thank you. What was your name?
Don't try. Enwin is going to just walk back into that little room.
Run away, Enwin. You're
That
good at
seems
this.
Unfair.
Does it?
Just a tiny bit. I mean, yes, we appreciate. I take that back. Your home is lovely. Your people are lovely. You have your own way of speech. So do we. So We say he's a good person. Does that not mean he is a good being? Person, Sylvan. He's Enwin. You know this the way we do. You give him a lot of grief for somebody who hasn't seen him in quite some time. And she'll just end it at that.
You're right. We give him grief. We are too hard on him. How about this? I promise to take all these bad feelings that I have for Enwin to the grave.
Seems like a gift.
I don't want any promises from you.
You won't get any.
It seems we've come to an agreement.
Have we?
No. And she'll walk off.
There's whispering as a couple of individuals after this altercation come over and start speaking with Donna off in the corner.
Can I cast Identify on the necklace? Do we have the necklace to cast Identify on?
On the necklace?
Or the Amulet of the Plains. Do we have that with us, or is that?
You do have the amulet.
Can I cast Identify on it?
Where are you doing this?
Wherever I'm at, which is not going to be with all the naked people.
Okay. Yeah, so you Enwin makes his way over to the small alcove, and you go over and you cast Identify. Yeah, the necklace activates. The spell transports those individuals back to the plane of the caster's choosing.
Okay. So we don't have to be in any particular place.
No, you do not.
Cool. Good to know.
While he's doing that near me, I'm gonna wait until he's done and go, would you mind taking a look at this one too? And handing you the tooth.
Did you just find this, or?
No, I've had that for a while. Not sure what it does, but.
Okay, I'll cast Identify on the tooth.
The tooth, you don't know exactly what this means, but I've been waiting to do this for a long time. The tooth is handed over to you, and you pick this up, and you not so much as realize what this tooth is, but immediately flash back to a moment that you had personally, way, 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 way back in the day, at a fancy party, where you had to fight against someone in a trial, and you saw this large flying lizard sort of hovering in the air in front of you, and this lizard started talking to you, established itself as a dragon, and said that they were coming back to Wonderland.
Yeah.
And that it was going to use you to do that.
Okay.
This tooth belonged to such a dragon. Dragons are gatherers and finders and hoarders. So this tooth, when utilized by someone, basically channels the draconic side inherent in all living creatures in Wonder, and will point to the object of greatest value.
I'm going to set it down in front of us.
Okay?
And see what happens.
You are not currently the owner of the tooth.
Darn. I'll hand it back.
Is all of that explained to Edwin?
I don't know. Give me a second.
Withholding much?
What is exactly explained to Edwin?
Everything but what it points to.
Essentially, this belonged to a giant flying beast called a dragon. And that the tooth is magical, but he's unsure of what sort of magic affects the tooth.
I don't say that I'm unsure, I just don't say anything.
Then I need you to word this to the Fae exactly how you're going to.
I describe what the item is, not what it does.
You do this.
So, it's a tooth of draconic
origin.
Origin. points at things.
What sort of things?
People. Why don't we see?
All right. Sets it down. Let's do its thing.
It does not point to the amulet. It's weird. You sort of put it on the flat ground. It points over to where Nyx is, and then it sort of hovers there for a second, and then points back over to where you are on your left-hand side.
Because it's just the two of you, right? Like we're all.
It's just the two of them in this room for the time being. It points over to your left-hand side, towards your pouch o items.
Huh. So, do you want to tell me now?
Do you know what it's pointing to?
If I knew what it did, maybe I would.
It points to the thing of greatest value.
Ah, yes, I do. Puts it in the bag, walks away.
So much for helping him.
Okay.
Mandrake would try to remember as many things as he can about the two people who just went over to talk to Bat.
Okay, give me straight up int. Roll a d20, add your int as you try to memorize the facial features of people that all look fairly similar, but with
Nat 1. There are people there.
You're not even sure of that. What is that big round thing at the bottom of the floor?
The tree.
Ground? Like, yeah. You're everyone's a little naked, so you're and
Is his left-hand side where the seed was?
I would.
Where everything.
He's got a satchel.
Well, yes, but I mean that's where he put the seed.
Yes.
Okay.
The seed, and
Actually, everything would be in my backpack.
if it's on your backpack, then it pointed to his back.
Yeah, because that's what the
Okay.
haversack is.
Yeah. Then it's on his. Then it pointed to his back. There's only one other item that you know he has on him, because you gave it to him.
Gotcha. Yeah. Either.
Cool. There is a. They try to keep it down, but these people are. You've basically just given them the equivalent of like no caffeine for a long, long time, and then you handed each of them like a big Red Bull. So there's a bit of commotion outside as people are up and running, but you guys managed to rest for the evening. I need to know if anybody's keeping watch tonight. Cool.
Mandrake would have difficulty sleeping in an
If you-
enclosed area, so he would probably
I
keep
don't.
watch as well.
Are you staying up the entire night?
I would try to sleep.
You can very easily stay up the entire night, but you will be taking a point of exhaustion right now.
Yeah.
That gives you disadvantage
I
on
would-
all skill checks.
I would. What's a short rest do?
A short rest is a little nappy. It's like you had kids.
Right. Well, I mean, I haven't used any spell slots. I haven't lost any hit points.
A short,
so-
you could if you haven't lost any hit points. A short rest is the equivalent of like I'm going to rest my eyes for a couple of hours, but you are still going to be exhausted. You will take a point of exhaustion,
Okay.
but I will let you stay up with Enwin the entire night.
I would have difficulty sleeping, but I would try.
Okay. Give me a wisdom save.
Hold on. 15.
It's a, it's not a like everybody else manages to conk out hard. I would say fix and dash first and foremost. Everybody else tends to people that you guys are used to at this point sleeping in harsh conditions. Mandrake, you're the last one, man. Like it's hard. You're in an enclosed space. You need the night sky above you or some sort of thing. So you get restless and you're sort of pacing about. And when you'd notice this if you're sort of camped out that just Mandrake's not having a hard time sleeping, and then you manage to like you go over and you grab like a stone or something like that, and you start carving like the facsimile of stars into the ceiling, like just like,
Right.
and then you realize like if you squint, you can kind of pretend like maybe you're outside, and if anybody else is awake, they're going to be like a breeze or something like that. And after a while, you fall asleep.
Good.
Middle of the night, or middle of this long rest, Bana comes in the room. And he says, "You know what's going to happen here. right?
We have an idea.
You're going to F this up.
That is the record so far, isn't it?
I trusted you.
Okay.
Why you?
You know, I find myself asking the same question.
I do.
I didn't actually know who I was until a few minutes ago. So,
Why didn't you get any of us out of that fire?
I was afraid. So I ran.
I want more than anything in the world to forgive you for this. But I'm not gonna.
That's fine. Oh, I wouldn't either.
And I swear to you, if you double cross us, if that seed doesn't get planted, I will find any way I can to crawl my way out of this cesspool, and I will kill you myself.
If it doesn't get planted, I'll come back for you myself.
Sure. Sure. I'll believe that. He'll walk out of the room. We're going to take a quick intermission right here as we go and meet the king, who is going to be your guide into navigating the back entrance into the prison of the damned, into the Obsidian Palace. So, mark down a long rest on your character sheet. Recoup those spell slots. If you lost any hit points, mark those hit points down. You are within shelter. You are not resting outside. So a lot of the effects that would be hurting you right now are not going to be hurting you. But should you choose to take a long rest outside amongst the elements, we would be having a much different conversation. Cool? All right, take a quick break. Don't forget, we got a giveaway going on tonight, and we're going to do a random winner here sometime within the next hour or so. So we will see you guys very, very soon. Hey, bye. we're back. Wow. Hi guys, thank you so much for tuning in. There's no fun in hell. There's no fun in hell, okay? I'm not having fun. There's no crying in baseball, and there's no fun in hell.
That's not true. I cried in baseball.
Dad?
Is that you?
Dad?
This is so weird.
Did you just have a flashback?
Hi guys, we are back once again with the Group of Wonder. One of these days I'm going to just turn the microphone on when we all start talking, and just before streams and during and things like that. You'll have to, there's no fun in hell. Yes, thank you for adding that to the quotes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we're back. Stay tuned we for more shenanigans and things of that sort, and don't forget there's going to be a giveaway coming up later tonight. That being said, heroes, you get a long rest. You are able to sort of, who are those nachos? They look amazing. Icky, you are our people. You need to come to Central Florida right now. Come and hang out with us.
Wendy's nachos?
He put his on a small one
please.
so we didn't stress.
Thank you, Miss Audie. So many chips, so many chips. And Nina Tolstoy, we know you had to go to bed, but this is for you. Heart, we love you. Heart,
Bye,
bad with
Nina.
this. Heart. We love you so much. Okay, guys, back into the action. You guys take a long rest.
I wasn't done moving things? You couldn't. Well, now I'm not going to move yourself. Hostility for trees.
After a bit of time, Shock will come into this sort of circular room and start waking everyone up and getting them ready to go and meet the king. She will wake you up first and sort of acknowledge to you and sort of ask almost permission to wake up Thoe.
Go for it.
And she says, I know, I have no way to thank you for what you did. All of the speeches, all of the stirring words, and it meant nothing to being able to bask in the sun's glow for 4 hours. So.
Well, if things work out the right way, then you'll get to do a lot more of that. And maybe on our way back, if we can get the chance to come here, we will. But
You've already provided a beacon of hope to us, so one that we could never repay, and we are grateful for that. Thank you.
thank you for having faith in him.
I can hear you.
We know
I-
you can,
I
dear.
know.
In case that was unclear. Just
I would have said that behind your back or to your face.
You are very welcome, Thoe. Sometimes this one over here needs people to have faith in him, especially when he doesn't have any in himself.
I agree.
Charlotte's just gonna start waking everybody else up.
Spider!
I'm uncomfortable.
And when I have not asked you, where Charlotte? She is amazing. When did you acquire her? She made it out of the fire.
Why? She let me out.
Is she one of ours?
No. I did find her on one of the eggs though. So maybe. But I suspect not.
She is quite remarkable. Does she spin much silk for you?
No.
Oh, I see. Yes, well, everyone, quickly, please, you will move swiftly. We have prepared cloaks for you that should help to shield you from any sort of prying eyes and some of the larger predators that wander the woods. The king is half a day's journey away from this point. You will need to be stealthy. I will guide you half of the distance, and then we'll return back to my camp. Stay the course. I will take you along an abandoned riverbed. You will follow that riverbed all the way to its end, and there you will find the only dwelling sort of on the outskirts of this area. You should be able to hear the music before you see the dwelling. Is that understood?
Is there anything else we should know about this king?
He defies description. It's best for you to experience all of his majesty yourselves.
Any rules we should abide by?
No. Quite the contrary.
So we can give him our names and we can take food and drink from him and give him gifts or take gifts.
He is most definitely not one of our people.
gods, all great.
Yeah.
Oh.
She will lead you outside of this little area as all of the people sort of nod in your direction, with the exception of 5 or 6 near the front, who seem to be gathered about Bana. But all of the rest sort of bow to you as you make your exit out of this area. As you move about and make your way outside, it is a bit of a journey. She leads you through the woods once more, and you find the riverbed that she tells you and points you in a direction. And she does not give you any sort of affection. In fact, she says nothing at all as she sort of looks about the area. And but she will look to your backpack and look to you and nod, and then put her cloak up and move back. So, heroes, I need to know how you're doing this. What's your marching order? If you're going about this stealthily, if you're going about this normally.
Before
use my
you
chance
leave,
dice.
I'm gonna ask her if the water's safe to be in.
She looks at you, and we'll just say that this conversation happened before you. She says, "What water?
Oh, never mind.
If you find water, it is most assuredly not water. Do not go near it.
Gotcha.
The creatures that live here are clever."
Mandrake would have, again, on the walk, been looking for brimstone. Smelling stones, trying to find that odor.
Yeah.
What? He told me to find it, okay?
Yeah,
he
no.
said to bring it.
Before
Nope.
Before
It doesn't burn.
Before you leave, she hands you a small satchel of brimstone.
Well, then I don't need to look for it.
Yes, and
Well played, sir.
she is not able to give you any sort of cuffs or anything along those lines because that is not something that the people operate in. But she.
I would communicate to Nyx at some point that we need something.
If we're going about this stealthily, I need stealth checks. If we're not, then we don't need to worry about it, and it's going to take a few hours.
Fix is just chatting up though.
Cool. So no stealthing about. Okay. Cool. Who's taking the front? Who's like? Is anybody keeping watch and just sort of watching the surroundings, or are we just sort of maintaining the path? Live your truths.
Sticking close to him, whichever direction, because I'm
All
worried
right.
about him.
So you three are probably up front.
I would move towards the front.
You'd be up front. Yeah.
Mandrake would be still looking for alchemic ingredients, even if you found brimstone.
Yeah.
Or
give-
anything valuable.
Give me investigation checks. What are you doing?
Just following along.
Okay. What do you got?
For investigation?
Yeah.
14.
And when I'm going to imagine, since you said you were up towards the front, you're sort of leading the group here, just because she's sort of giving you directions. You find, as you're sort of scanning the ground, they're all sort of looking ahead, and it takes a few hours, and you're sort of trying to keep an eye out. This, you're walking alongside this riverbed. Inside the riverbed, you see a long white bone that looks like it's picked clean, and your eyes sort of dart off to it because it's the only sort of thing that you've seen like it. But it is, you are walking alongside the riverbed, it is inside the riverbed.
So it's in the water.
There is no water.
There's no water.
So to be clear, this is a very dry riverbed.
It's a very dry riverbed.
Okay. How far away is it from where we're walking?
20 feet?
I would draw attention, like...
There's a... And Mandrake will point down inside, and you guys see, it's like long, it's a white bone, seems to be just sort of resting in this, what once was a river. There is no water inside of it.
It could be useful.
Does it look familiar to me at all?
Oh, that was a long time.
Define familiar.
Does it look like any sort of animal?
Medicine check. Medicine or nature.
Can I say
Yeah, you can. If you're proficient in either one of those, so take this roll at advantage as Fix and Dash sort of lean over and be like, oh yeah, I know what this is.
So that's for me.
I
That's
rolled a
medicine check.
6 and an 8. Plus 3 is 11.
It's a 14 for medicine.
No, I mean it's a bone. You're not really sure what it would belong to or anything along those lines. Not with an 11. Like,
No.
Really, at the time.
Can I take it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm taking it.
Cool.
Sir.
Fix and dash. Jump into this little area, and they go over and they pick up the bone, and you just like lift it up.
Yeah, just.
Yeah. You lift it up, and there is a twing.
Like just something you can hear, or just more like.
Like a instrument twing.
Yeah, almost like a or a tripwire.
Great. This is why we don't touch things.
But it could be valuable.
Drop it.
The wind is making a noise that I don't like.
I think we should do more quickly.
Dexterity saving throw as the water comes crashing down this river. 12. Fix, you are picked up. You are picked up by this rushing water, and it sort of like picks you up, and it starts dragging Fix and Dash just around the river bend.
Is he in the middle of the river or off to the side?
He is right in the middle of it because he picked this thing up, and he's like, "Hey, what is that noise?" And the water has sort of shot forward.
How far is he from us?
I'm going to give everybody a moment as you see this water sort of rush forward. I will give everybody a round here.
Is he wearing like a backpack?
He is wearing a bit of a satchel. He is. I said the bone was 20 feet away, so he's 20 feet away from the party.
If we're traveling down a riverbank, right?
You're
You
walking
said-
alongside of it.
right.
There's a bone in the middle.
And
You
I
jumped in,
right, I
grabbed.
grabbed it.
Yep.
So can I cast Entangle and like have like whatever's growing on the sides of it, like kind of like grab me and like keep me steady in one place?
Yeah, I'm going to make it so that your dex throw is sort of your main reaction at that point, and it's going to take a second. So we're just going to go around the horn and say what you guys do with your actions here. I'm going to give everybody a surprise round. Edwin, what are you doing first?
How do we want to work Charlotte into doing things?
Tell me what you want Charlotte to do.
I want Charlotte to bounce to him.
Okay.
And then I want to cast Gaseous Form on him.
Okay. I think you would just be able to do
You want
that.
to do what to me?
Sir?
Are you willing? Or
So, there is a there is a moment where there is a oh no, I'm going to be swept up in the water, and you're like, it can't get any worse. A giant spider drops onto your head, and starts like tittering away. It's trying to communicate to you in Arachnid that I'm here to save you, but as drool and poison sort of drips from the mandibles down upon your head, there's a bit of a panic in you. You, Fix, turn into gas.
That's not the worst I've ever been called.
Are you still holding the bone?
I mean,
I
don't know how that works.
if you are willing.
It's him and everything that he's
I mean, for the sake of good story, let's gas him up. Like,
Misty cloud. You are gone. You are just sort of this little misty cloud. Your only movement is flying. You got a flying speed of 10. Yeah.
And she's going to poof back.
Yeah.
Now, how long are we gonna have to watch him fly around now, zipping through the clouds?
only until he gets over here.
So you're kind of floating above the water a little bit, and there's not a lot of it. And as it sort of goes past you, it keeps moving down.
Now my
The river.
Stratus, Nimbus.
You're gas, not a cloud. It's like a fart. You're irritating.
Thanks.
You're a fart in the wind.
Is there wind?
Is he a visible fart though?
My favorite Firefly episode.
I'm gonna start hovering back towards
Sure.
the bank.
Yeah.
I'm not
Hey,
sure what my
Oswald.
movement speed is.
Yeah.
10 feet.
10 feet.
10 feet.
10 feet around.
So when he gets
How
to
much
us,
do you just
A far away.
So he gets to you. The little cloud is sort of floating in front of you. Would you like to drop the spell or keep it going? As he drops it, you coalesce into solid form and sort of land on your butt in front of the group.
and Mandrake's gonna reach down and grab the bone and go, "Thank you. Always check for traps." And then he's gonna put it in his back.
Great. Love it. He takes the bone from you and puts it in his back. Heroes, what are we doing?
Did you check for extra traps on the bone?
That's fair. Nix.
Can I cast Identify on them, like, walking, or do I have to be in one place?
It has to be a ritual. I almost think.
Yeah,
you know
I'm
what?
not-
No,
when
I
I
always
was-
hated this rule that you had the spell, but you had to cast it as a ritual. If you want to burn a first level spell slot and cast it,
I don't have it in my list.
Yeah. Then no.
That's what I'm asking. So we'll have to figure it out later if you want me to.
You could just look at it.
Does it look dangerous?
You want me to look?
It's like, do me a solid, my dude. Give me an investigation next if you would like to look at
with
I'll
your
look.
special eye.
You get real close to Mandrake's bone
13.
and just start really like diving in, like
13.
13. It's not a. It's what? Stop.
It's so shiny.
Gross, dirty birds. You start looking at Mandrake's bone, and you see that there's
Why?
a little bit of writing on it, but it's written in a bunch of different languages.
Great.
Would you point those out to me? That there's writing on it in languages?
There's words on it,
Yeah.
which you could probably see if you looked at it too.
Right, but you are the one who knows about magical things.
The writing says, "For a good time, find the king, bring beer."
Oh yeah.
Great.
Is this something you relay to everybody? Please say yes.
Do I read it, or
You read it. He pointed it to you.
I'm
He's
not
looking
dealing
at it.
with that? I'm
Well,
not
luckily we
relaying
have
it, I'm
plenty of beer and a spoon.
We do.
My father is the best and most renowned brewer in all the
I'm
lands.
walking off.
I've never been.
Next.
He does this. Just follow him.
Okay. Several times throughout the journey, you see various bones sticking out of other places. You see one that's sort of in a tree, and upon closer inspection, you see that there's a little string attached to it. It's easily to avoid. Now that you know what to look for, you see these sort of spread all throughout the place. And sure enough, as you begin to walk to where this river is, or was, you start hearing faint music coming from a distance. It sounds like percussion, guitar, lyre, mandolin. It's like a
It's
full-blown band.
If we find Gil down here, I swear.
Should we get like sneaky and like sneak towards it and check it out, and then maybe sneaky people could report back?
Liar is pulled, and she's like ready to go. We could just walk in. Sounds like a party.
Fix Brianna's pan flute.
I feel like he already knows we're coming. I mean, we tripped one of his traps.
Okay, well then let's go. I don't have a musical instrument to play, though.
As you, you do have one. As you, the kazoo, my dear.
We all have
As you make your way up the path, before you stand two skeletal guards that are in front of a gate. And these two skeletal guards are sort of amiably chatting with one another, and until one slaps the other one and he's like, "Hey, there's people." "Oh, sweet. Halt, who goes there?"
I'll hold up the bone.
He found your femur. He's like, "No way, I lost that like 3 days ago." "Did you put it in the trap?" "Yeah, I thought it'd be great." "Oh, it's so wasted." And one of the skeletons will walk forward and be like, "Hey, can I get that back?"
Certainly. And I'll hand it to him, and then I'll pull out beer.
"What?" "Well, hello." "Hey, these guys have beer." Oh man, the king's gonna be super thrilled. Do you guys want me to do the whole spiel thing, or do you want me to just like let you guys go in?
Is any of it informative?
Do it anyway. Just go for it.
Okay.
He will sort of look and go, "Greetings,
Hello.
greetings,"
Greetings.
and the other skeleton will like sigh and like, take a piece of paper and sort of like give him the piece of paper, and he's like, "I thought I had it." "Greetings, adventurers! You are about to find your audience with the king of all, of music, and cool magic stuff, and he is great with his giant." I can't say this. He wants us to talk about the size of his. Yeah, you don't have to say that part. Okay. Please bring your offerings of women and beer, and make your way forward to the court of the king. Open gate. that's stage direction. Sorry. And he will turn back and sort of open the gate for you all.
Mandrake, may I have one of those beers, please? Just for safekeeping. You are a delight! Thank you! And she'll put it in her pack.
You guys make your way, and sure enough, it's odd. In the middle of this sort of like barren landscape, there's a bunch of not only skeletons, but like sort of zombified beings that are making a way on the grounds. They're wandering about, and as you guys are sort of walking forward, some of them sort of turn and sort of look at you, and then and like sort of wave happily, and then like continue to patrol around. So think this one house in the middle of this area that seems to be put together with just the most random assortment of like wood, metal, cloth, leather, like anything that you could possibly find, and constantly these undead sort of shambling forms are coming over and like adding to the house and making it just less of a shit show. At the front of the house, outside on the lawn, is a throne that seems to have been made up of skeletal bones. And there's a dwarf in there, and he's sitting there. He looks young for a dwarf. He's sort of leaning back in the chair. There's a skeletal band off to the side that's sort of playing music and things of that sort. And he's sort of jamming out with them. And one of the skeletal minions at his side gives him a beer, and he takes it in one hand, and he gets an idea, and he brings up his other hand, and there is no hand here. It's a rudimentary, like, almost like a saw. And he gives it a flick, and the saw, like, starts moving like this, almost like this chain saw that has replaced the left hand. And as he sort of, like, opens the beer with the chainsaw, he tips it back, and then he makes eye contact with all of you and, like, sits up. And he's like, well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
My name's Fancy Pants.
Welcome to the kingdom. I'm the king.
Hello.
Of course you are.
You who we're looking for, then?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Of course. I'm who you're looking for, guys. We got people. We got people here, and a bunch of like skeletons come out. One's wearing a dress and has like the facsimile of a wig that seems to be like like braids and stuff like that. And she's carrying a tray of hey, So what can I do for you guys?
Well, first we brought this, and I'll bring out one beer.
Yes. Did you guys find one of the bones?
We did.
I was really proud of those.
The one with the water?
Yeah, it's a bone like a boner, though.
I get it, because it's hard.
I like this guy. Ooh, I get the feeling we're not going to get along at all.
It's alright, he's just made of wood.
Welcome to the small kingdom that I've carved out for myself here in the underworld. It's been a while since I had any visitors. You guys are welcome to come by.
Well, we're trying to make our way to a prison and help free some people.
Nice, that's fun.
And I hear you're the guy that we need to talk to for that.
Oh, you're not joking? You're not joking?
No, we need passage into the Obsidian Castle.
Into the Obsidian? No. That's where you go to not come out of.
No, we have to go. This is very important.
I'm sure it is. That's great. Good luck. You know, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you.
You know what? You're right. Raven just said he wouldn't be able to help us.
I'm sorry, what did he say?
Oh, he said that you wouldn't be able to get anyone in or out of the Obsidian Castle.
It went well. How well?
21.
Ravenger's a piece of shit. I can totally get you into that prison.
Can you?
Yeah, of course I can, sweet cheeks.
He was fairly confident that you couldn't.
Why do you need to get into the prison?
Oh, dearie. Now, that might be a story for along the way. she'll pull out the beer and like crack the lid off and like start walking up to him.
Give me just a straight up charisma check. He is. It's been a long time. This is a low bar, my dude. As you're giving him any sort of flirtatious attitude, like he's all about it.
That's a nat 20.
I'm just gonna start calling you queen.
Well,
Yeah.
I have lived amongst royals, so.
This makes total sense. I could totally pick that up about you. All right, so you guys need to get into the prison, right?
Yeah.
What can
Not
you?
just in and out with someone.
So let me get this straight. You want to break into the Obsidian Palace, rescue someone from the Obsidian Palace, and then get out. Now, I'm assuming that you guys aren't dead because you're not sporting the fashionable jewelry. So how do you plan on getting home?
We have our ways.
I was gonna say we have our ways.
I can get you in. I can get you to your friend. I just want to ride home.
A ride home.
Yeah.
Does
Listen.
he have a band
No.
of any sort?
No, he is. He is like, listen, I found a book. I read some passages from the book. I said them exactly how I was supposed to say them.
Oh.
Maybe I didn't get every syllable exactly 100% right, but I need a ride home. Luckily, I'm a necromancer, so this is like throwing a fat kid into a candy store. I'm great. However, I miss life. I miss women.
Right.
You're helping with that.
Yeah.
But I need a ride home. You guys give me a ride home, or let me bum along with you guys, and this is fine, easy peasy. I'll get you into the prison and get you to your buddy. I know back ways, front ways, and any undead you run into, I can just bring him into our service.
I'm all in. I trust him.
Hey, he trusts me? That's right.
A moment.
I don't remember. Do we remember how many people we were able to get back?
Seven.
Mandrake
We have
remembers.
5.
We have 6.
We
You
have
six.
Mhm.
The Fix and Dash have said, I don't know if they
They
said it
don't-
out loud, that they're
yeah.
cool with sticking around here for a little bit.
That's why I asked for a minute alone with.
No. Yeah. He's like, yeah, take your time, take your time. Everybody out. And the skeletons, he sends them back in the house. He's like, so what do you guys want to talk about?
Just us and our friend here.
It's all right. I usually go for kind of a curvier type, but it's been a while. You and I could have a conversation. And...
Day.
Yes.
Oh, not just you and me. Like you want.
Right.
Just yeah.
Could you perhaps entertain our friend for a moment?
With pleasure.
And he will like, let me show you inside. I have a bed. It's not really a queen. It's more of like a big twin.
It's
but
okay, dear. I'm the queen.
yes, perfect. And he'll lead you inside the house, and yeah, we'll make those rolls later. You guys have any conversation that you want to have?
Okay.
We don't have enough room.
I'm aware. Fix. Are you expecting passage back?
Well, I mean, I haven't really thought about it. I mean,
Do you want passage back?
well, the best part about the dead is that I love to drink, and it's good for business because, you know, I'm much of a brewer myself. But I haven't really given it much thought, actually.
Do you want to go back?
I don't know what's left for me back there. I have Dash, and Dash is great, and that's what I came back for. I don't know if there's anything left.
Would Dash count? Would we know if Dash counts as because it's 7 souls, but like.
But the spider with Enwin.
But that's different. That's
Do me a favor.
not the same.
As this thought crosses your head, you're a little busy, Aubrey Faye, but Thoe, give me an investigation check, either investigation or perception, as you dart your head over to where Dash is.
21.
You dart your head over towards Dash, and Dash is sort of like looking sullenly and sort of tilts his head, and for the first time you divert all of your attention towards Dash, and you see on this little squirrel body, tucked behind the ear, the symbol for the Cheshire Cat. And something clicks in your head. He didn't end up in righteousness. Dash ended up in righteousness. Because when Dash died, Dash was supposed to end up where Cheshire promised Dash would go. and he chased him. And that's how we got to righteousness.
Do you relay?
Yes, but
He doesn't have a cuff though, right?
The
Dash.
Dash does not.
but does that mean that Dash would be the 7th? Do we know?
There's no way of knowing. Give me an int check.
Oh.
Nat 20.
If Dash promised himself to Cheshire, then there's something more going on with Dash. And then another realization hits you. How much life is in that seed in his pocket?
Oh no.
There's no way of knowing exactly how this works. It might be just innate enough to be able to get this thing through, but
Or it might count as a life.
Or it might
all the lives.
count as a life. It's not going to be all the lives, but if there's enough life stored in this thing, like, you don't know if it's protected, you don't know it's not, but we're getting a little dicey when it comes to 7. But Dash and Fix have stated that they don't think they're going anywhere soon.
I'm not here. I can't help.
Have we all?
You're helping.
You've relayed all of this.
Yeah.
Okay. So we can't make promises, or we can.
There's no way we can.
If you
We can-
stay and you ever want to come back, you find a way to let us know. We will find you and we will bring you back. Okay?
Well, what, I mean, I have Dash, so I don't want to leave. I don't understand it.
I know. But if you ever change your mind,
But
or if Dash
no,
changes
you
his
don't-
mind and
you-
Dash wants back.
You don't understand. I have Dash now. I don't understand why you want me to leave and have not Dash be around.
Okay. Stay, but if there's ever a reason that you need help after we go, even if just you and Dash need help here, you let us know, okay?
You think we need help?
Not now,
Have Dash.
and maybe not ever.
Dash is helpful. He's kind. I mean, he works hard and he helps everybody. Why would I need help
Okay,
to get somewhere when he's already there? To
You're
be
right.
My family.
you're right.
Wait.
It was silly of me.
It's all right. Silly questions are often asked.
You were in that bar.
I'm on the bar.
Does this mean anything to you? And I'll pull out the Cheshire pendant.
It's the sign for Cheshire.
Often things that are chaotic usually join the same group.
Then I don't think we have a problem here. We say Cheshire. They all go where they're supposed to go.
Okay.
Yes, okay.
I don't like that laugh. Please take that laugh back.
Sorry, I'll take that laugh back. After about
Time it right.
7 or 8 minutes, there is the two of you come back outside, and you go, so, do you guys have time to talk?
We don't know if we can promise a way back because we don't know what we were able to do.
Okay.
But we can try.
And we have a god on our side.
Which one?
A few, actually.
Which ones?
Death.
Death?
And Cheshire.
Cheshire? Interesting. Give me a persuasion check. Not you.
Oh. Well, that's good.
He's
That's
a little
great.
closer to someone else. Day. I think Death is the one that interests him the most.
Okay.
Being a necromancer.
Would you say those 7 or 8 minutes were an advantage? I'm just kidding.
Well, just 5 minutes in heaven.
You know what? I've never done this before. Give me a performance check beforehand, and I'll let you know if this is advantage for it.
Wow.
That's a 20 on that.
Yes, you can take advantage on this. So you pulled out all the stops.
Am I doing? You said
Persuasion, yes.
Okay.
Well,
23.
back to the-
23. He's like, next time you talk to Death, you put in a good word for me, right? And you're going to try to get me home, right?
Yes.
Cedar Williams. I'm the voice of Death. That's real good.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from a little all over. Wonder mostly. I mean,
So that's your home.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm comfortable here, though.
How much would you be okay with in order to get home?
What do you mean?
Any way possible, or do you have?
Yeah.
I'll look at Enwin.
Cool.
You heard him.
All right, kids, to get in to the Obsidian Keep, there's 2 entrances. 3, if you want to get real nitpicky. And he goes into this explanation. While he goes into this explanation, we are going to draw our winner, and then we're going to continue the episode. So we're going to draw the winner for the giveaway for here on the channel for the 3rd winner of the Indigo 500 coin, and we're going to continue a little bit onward as we. Wolf Garind has won the giveaway. Thank you so much, Wolf, for tuning in and being so supportive of the channel. This is for you, buddy. We're going to send it your way. We're going to send you some stickers as well. But congratulations, dude. And if you're interested, you can be the 3rd member of my golden ticket one-shot that I think I'm going to theme off of a dark D&D Willy Wonka and treat this like the golden.
If you don't want to play, I'll play.
So I've had this idea of brewing with a lich that puts a little bit of his energy into candy bars. So
What?
so yeah, stay tuned. Yes, and Wolf, I love it. Okay, so Cedar Williams sort of lays out all of this information for all of you guys, saying that there's 3 ways into the prison. One, there's the main entrance. You walk right up the gangplank. You're gonna die again. Certainly, if you walk up this like sort of main area. The second way is to cause a big enough commotion to get the attention of some of the guards and go in prisoner style. You know what I mean? Sort of hide anything on your person. You could swallow some stuff and then just poop it out later. That's a way to go. That's another way. The 3rd way is a specialty way that I call the Andy Dufresne. Where we're going to break you guys into the prison because a buddy of mine, hey Steve! And one of the skeletons comes ambling forward and he's like, yeah? And it's like, Steve, you broke out of the prison, right? You told us that story? Oh yeah, I died in the process, but I did break out of the prison. Most of me did. I kind of carved this hole in, and there's this sort of like back passageway. You have to crawl up a sewer pipe that sort of spills out all of this poop, and then you sort of climb it up and inward, and then it'll take you right into sort of the main sort of area here in the prison. Was your person a high risk person that you're rescuing? Would he be like high status, or would he be sort of mid-tier?
Here, it's hard to tell.
Yes. Oh, okay. Well, here's what you're going to do. If you're willing, hang out. We'll have some beers, and then we'll make our way towards the prison. It's about a day's journey from here, and then you are going to have to. The prison is surrounded by this sort of moat of lava and fire. And Cedar's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So there's this sort of like lake around the area, and it's filled with like lava and fire and stuff like this. So it's sort of like this sort of moat that you guys have to get across. Do you guys have a way of like flying or navigating this, or?
Oh, I can fly.
Okay.
Fly.
Fly.
I have a potion that could allow me to fly.
Okay, that's
I
convenient.
I can also turn into a spider, and I can like shoot webs, and we can cross our way.
I can fly a few people over, but it will
All right.
I
put me
could.
in a bad place magic-wise.
What about you, tall, green, and ugly?
I can get there.
All right.
I could probably turn into something that could fly somebody or a couple people over.
And need be, kid, if you try your hardest, yeah, I'll save your freaking slot. I'll be able to help out a little bit here. So we'll have to fly you across the moat, and then make our way through the sewer pipe. There's going to be patrols. If we're lucky, we're not going to run into them. If we're unlucky, we're gonna run into at least a couple. Okay? We'll try to talk our way out. If we're unable to do that, we'll have to fight our way in. I'm going to warn you now. You get into the prison, and you know about as much as Jack and shit, and Jack just left town. I know very little about this place. Okay? I know how to get you in, but once you get in, you are on your own.
What about Steve?
Steve, you want to come with? It's like, no, but I'll draw a map or something. I'd be like, that'd be great, Steve. Thank you. It's like, all right, cool. I was NPC, and I was like, yeah. He's like, that's a weird term that he uses. So we'll have Steve draw you a map and try to get you to an area. We're gonna assume that your boy is in the mid area, unless you can somehow get in touch with him and he can provide more details.
If we rest beforehand, I can ask.
Yeah. Take a long rest. I'll throw out a couple of like sheets and stuff like that. The guys can patrol the area. Don't mind the smell. You get used to it after a few years, you know. But we'll set forth, and you guys will make your way into the prison. You guys got any souls?
A few.
Can I have one?
Ooh, have.
He's just gonna grab like Dash and just cradle his arm.
All right, easy, kid. No. Just I need one of them for payment.
Payment for what?
A little bit of a faster travel for us tomorrow. I got a buddy of mine. I think I can convince him to give us a way in. Or we could just take our chances. It's up to you.
Faster we get out of here.
I guess these are only useful down here, so... One.
Sure.
I'll hold out the onyx.
I'll get it back to you. I'll just use one.
I don't think that's a great idea.
It's your choice.
How do we feel?
They're your
You use more than one, that deal drops.
Sure.
Okay.
God, what are you guys, Fae?
Why resemble that mark?
Oh, that explains it. It's alright. Oh, crap. Did I give you my name? No, I don't think so.
You doing it?
Maybe a few beers first.
Sounds good to me.
Fix freak
Yes! Fix freaks out. He sort of points over to the skeletal crew, and the crew just starts like jamming out. Cedar's going to be like, F it, this may be our last night here, right? And he'll go into the back and he'll pull out the in case of emergency break glass amount of booze. And it is ale. He's got a couple of nice bottles in there. You don't know how he got them.
So we're in an enclosed space. We're in a.
You're in. Think like a ranch where like there's a fence that kind of goes around this whole ranch, and walking around constantly are elves, humans, dwarves, beings that are sort of all in various means of undead state. So like zombies, skeletal forms. You see a couple of like spectral forms that are sort of navigating
still
around.
Space.
You can still see the sky. You can still see the sky. If you were to go inside the little house that Day was in, there's a ceiling in there.
Okay.
And it's big enough to, like, if everybody slept in the kitchen and the bedroom and in the bathroom, like everybody could fit inside this little shack.
And when during like all of the eating time and the things before the sleeping time, would you rather? I mean, I don't know how things work. I know that it helps you to have sunlight, but I don't know if you can have other options or anything because you've never really told us about that. But I could do the same sunlight thing before I go to sleep, and that way you could recharge with that.
I think we're all right here. But thank you.
Do you have another way to like feel rested before tomorrow?
I can sleep.
Okay. Well, I didn't know. You've never really talked about it.
You've
Okay.
seen me sleep.
Well, no, I don't think I have. I? Okay.
You've seen me sleep and you've seen me eat.
Okay. I didn't realize I had. I thought you managed to get sunlight every time.
See, you harken back to it's less time if he gets sunlight,
Okay.
but it takes more time if he sleeps.
Well, if you want some sun before bed, I'm happy to do that. I can do that.
Cedar kicks off the dead man's party, and as he does, the music is a pumping, and drinks are a flowing for everybody that's interested. It's a moment of brevity before making this like sort of final assault. Who's drinking tonight? Yeah, con save, buddy.
Mandrake's gonna make sure that Cedar's glass stays full.
Yeah, boy.
Like, I remember
That is gonna
a
be
little
a
musical.
10.
Yeah, man. You get a little hammered. I think there's a part where you just kind of let the beer flow and you guys are hanging out, and then all of a sudden I think you're planning on like, I'm gonna be real sneaky and pull Houdini, and you sort of turn around to go find somewhere to sleep and sort of face plant into the ground in front of everybody, and there's like this pause, and then everybody's like, yeah, like. Woo! Woo! From the ground, and then we're like,
Nailed it.
party keeps going. Some
Yeah,
people
I'm
get
gonna-
pleasantly have a few drinks, but nothing too crazy smashed. And
I'm gonna talk to the king when I can alone.
yeah, man, he's like, hey, guy pal, what's your name?
Doesn't matter.
Groovy.
It's very important that you answer this as honestly as possible.
Okay, about 8 inches.
Are you from Wonder originally?
Yeah, I'm from Wonder.
Born in Wonder.
Yes.
Okay, because if you're not born in Wonder and not from Wonder, you might not end up getting out of here.
Okay. That's cryptic as hell, man.
No. Okay.
Say something else. Say like, you're the chosen one.
I'm not getting into that.
Come on, say it.
I'd rather not. Things don't go my way.
Like at all?
Depends on how tomorrow goes.
Is this buddy in the prison your buddy?
Something like that.
And you're literally going through hell for this person.
Obviously.
Hey, what's the worst that could happen, right?
A few things, but
Yeah, but you got me.
they don't happen, so
You got me now, right?
yeah. I don't know how I feel about that.
Oh, me neither. I'm still getting used to it. First couple days, we got like a little fleck in your eye. Oh, it's killer, man. I was going through pure wounds like crazy.
How did that happen?
I got some evil in my hand. It's the first time I got the book, and I'm like flipping pages, and I start reading a passage, and the evil, I managed to stop it, but it got into my hand, so I had to like chop it off. But a buddy of mine's an artificer, and he hooked me up with this sweet deal.
Okay.
Guy was super smart, like smart.
What was his name?
Hmm?
What was his name?
Falcon, Farron,
Felrin.
Felrin. That was the kid. Anytime I'm buying anything, I'm buying it from that kid. Shop smart, man.
You have no idea. And I'll leave him be.
Okay. He claps you on the back, and he sort of has a great time with you guys, and you guys hang out and stuff like that. Anybody do anything before you settle down for that last rest before we siege the Obsidian Castle? Yeah?
Mandrake is going to wait until the king is good and drunk.
Okay.
And then go and ask the king.
Medium drunk my turn.
So,
Very drunk.
And then
So
slammed day.
You seem like the kind of character here in hell.
so good.
And Mandrake's gonna hand him another beer.
No, you know what I miss?
What?
Mandrake.
You don't know my name.
Tacos.
Tacos.
I miss tacos.
Why can't I be up for this right now?
I miss tacos so bad.
You seem like the kind of gentleman who would have gathered a few powerful items here in hell.
Yup. You'd be surprised people throw away.
Or
One
I-
man's trash. Shh. And treasure.
Can I see?
You got eyes, man. That's great.
I know how to brew goblin.
Oh, you want to see the trophy run? Shoot, man. It's inside.
Inside.
Yep. Hell, man, you're like my best friend now, Manfred. And I all you guys, I worry about that guy. He's just like, that green guy's had his arms folded almost literally the entire time he's been here.
No, you're right.
So yeah, man. Tell you what, you go into that room,
Mm-hmm.
and you can get in, and you can get out. You can have one item that you get out with, but I'm not gonna tell the guard that you're coming in. You guys, Marissa's gonna go break in to my house while we watch. And he goes and gets chairs, and he sets up chairs outside of the house.
He'll hand him another beer.
Go. You got. Hey. Manny? You got this, man. We're gonna watch you do this. I'm gonna taco so much. You ever had a taco, Melissa? It's so good.
I don't even know what a taco is.
It's like a shell, but not a turtle shell. Oh god.
Oh my god.
It's just a shell, and you put some meat in it, and a little hot sauce and sour cream, and some cheese.
Mandrake's gonna take a piece of bread from his ration kit.
Okay.
And a piece of the dried meat.
Okay.
And he would also have cheese in there, I would assume, but you didn't mention cheese.
Yeah.
So he would take the bread, he would wrap it around the dried meat, and then like this.
Give me a deception check.
Deception?
Give me a taco deception check.
Taco
performance.
deception?
Or you can tell you what, just add a dex. Roll a d20 and add your dex for taco based skills.
Let's just clarify that we're doing this for tacos.
Can I assist him by pouring more beer into?
He is
This guy is
so
so gone.
that dude is so like he's gonna have to boot and rally just to get you guys to the prison.
So that was a 10.
A 10. He's so drunk, man. He doesn't care. The thought is so. It means so much. He's like, you guys, you're not gonna believe this. You're not gonna believe this. Marky Mark just gave you a taco. And he's like, give him the taco, and he's like eating it, and he's like, yeah, man, go pick out something from inside.
Oh, that traps. Good.
He's making a big show of this.
Yeah.
Oh god. Charlotte's going in too. She turns invisible, and she's gonna crawl along the ceiling with this one.
Okay, cool. Do you let him know? So he knows or he does not know? Okay, cool. Yeah, you make your way to the front door of the house, and he kind of like sets up a chair, and he like finishes the taco, and then just says like pretends to eat more.
Biting his head.
Yeah.
Okay, so he would examine the front door.
Okay.
Looking for any
Check for
traps,
traps.
anything like that.
Give me an investigation check, please. If you check for traps around this area.
That's an 18. Yeah, 18.
You, as you get up to the front door of the house, you're looking around and you're about to open the front door, and then you stop, and then you sort of like trace up the frame of the door, and there's a tiny little like bell at the very top, so that if you were to open the door, it would just ring a little bell. And it takes nothing to take your dagger out and just sort of slice at the little wire to stop it from. And he's like, that was the first one. You did it. Greatest job. Greatest road.
He's gonna
You
check
got
the
it.
door again.
Yeah. You got this, Melissa McCartney. You got it, like.
He's well versed in
Yeah.
22 for the second investigation check.
Yeah. There's nothing outside this area.
Nothing. Okay.
So you open the front door.
Okay. Open the front door.
Yep. Front door. You see a sparse house. There's no. Everything is sort of mapped out almost like a studio apartment. So you've got this little like kitchenette area. You've got like a bed over there that looks like it's seen some better days.
Right.
It looks a little beat to hell. And then there is a skeletal form who seems slumped over, sitting in a chair in front of a door. who's not really paying attention. You don't know if he's asleep or what, but he looks non-moving.
Okay.
Give me a stealth roll for Charlotte, please, at advantage, as she creeps in to the house above his head.
It's a 21.
Yep.
Okay. Mandrake is going to cast Crown of Madness on the skeleton who's facing away from him.
Okie dokie. What does this say for Crown of Madness?
Wisdom saving throw, wisdom 14.
A wisdom save of 14. Okay. A jagged crown of thorns, twisted of jagged iron, appears on its head, and its eyes alight with a darkness and a madness.
I would like for this crown of thorns to resemble my hat, but with jagged iron thorns coming out of it.
Okay. Okay.
And then Mandrake is going to casually, first of all, having picked up a little bit from Cedar, go check where he keeps his most valuable possessions, under his mattress.
Okay, what creature do you inform the guard to go after? What are your instructions towards the skeleton that is alight with madness?
Anything other than me in the room.
These eyes that glow with a red energy start scanning the room. Go ahead and keep giving me... I'll keep asking you for stealth rolls from her at advantage as that invisibility maintains. You walk over towards the mattress. So just give me your next set.
19.
Okay. You go over towards the mattress. Give me an investigation check.
12.
Okay. You find a scroll with some crudely drawn pictures of female anatomy on them. You find a potion bottle which has an odd liquid inside of it, and you find a piece of wood that is curved, and you recognize to be that of a boomerang, with odd arcane symbols carved into it.
Okay, I'm gonna grab the curved wood and the potion.
2 more stealth rolls, please.
20.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna proceed to the door the skeleton was facing.
Okay.
I'm gonna check the door for another trap.
2, 3. Yeah, give me an investigation check.
11.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't look trapped to you. This thing is so not trapped.
I'm gonna ask the skeleton to open the door.
Okay, with the crown of madness firmly fixed to its head, new orders are given. It needs to attack a creature, a human, but it's charmed by you. Okay, yeah, he's like, yeah, you got it, boss, and sort of goes over to the wall and opens the door. As he opens the door, there is a force of a strong wind that seems to push this thing up against the wall. Where is Charlotte in the room?
On the ceiling.
On the ceiling? Where? Would she be close to this
She
door?
she'd be above him.
Above him, and he wouldn't be anywhere near there. Okay. The skeleton takes a little bit of damage as it's pressed up against the wall, and that crown sort of sits affixed to its head, and it sort of tries to shake it off. But this room is now open to you. On it is some very bare bones shelving, and you see a multitude of different items. You see a cloak. You see a sword off to the side. You see a shield. The shield has some crudely drawn paintings on it that seem to be there for a second and then disappear. You see, alongside of it, you see a set of boots, and the last thing you see is a set of seashells.
Okay. I'm gonna instruct the skeleton to come with me.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a closer look at the cloak.
How close?
I'm not gonna touch it.
Cool. So you take a little bit of time to start like poring over this cloak, and you like direct all of your attention to it. As you direct all of your attention to it, you get this little like thing in the back of your head that's like, hey man, I should probably like. What am I forgetting? There's something I'm forgetting. And as you're sort of examining this cloak, give me an investigation check.
Not good. 9.
15 to hit.
No, that's right at armor class.
The skeleton takes a dagger from its side and sort of jabs it into your back as you have failed to use your action to maintain control over it and got real up and close with the cloak and started doing an investigation. And so you've lost your control over a Crown of Madness, and he's like, hey, you're not supposed to be in there! And gives you a quick stab to the back.
Okay.
Okay?
How much damage?
You take... Oh, I can actually roll some damage. Yeah, you only take about 6 points of damage as this dagger sort of cuts into your back a little bit, and the skeleton sort of preps and makes a look towards the front door of the house. That's all right.
I'm gonna cast Hideous Laughter.
Okay, what's the save on Hideous Laughter?
Wisdom 14.
Wisdom 14. He fails that greatly, and falls to the ground. And what do you say to get him to start laughing? That's all right. He's like, you're like, I anti-joke, and he just starts like throwing it to the ground and starts laughing.
Wasn't prepared.
No, it's fine. And so he starts laughing. Your skeleton foe is sort of laughing before you. What are you doing? As you hear a voice from outside go, clock's ticking, pick one item and get out.
I'm gonna I'm gonna check the shield for traps.
Okay. Yeah, give me an investigation.
19.
Okay. No traps on the shield.
Grab the shield.
Okay. And you make your way out.
Charlotte grabs a necklace.
Okay.
And her and the necklace are both in her pocket dimension as soon as she grabs it.
Cool. When you are channeling her, are you taking any action? Are you moving around like normal? Are you in a catatonic
She and I have
state?
telepathic communication.
To what range?
A mile.
A mile. Okay. Cool. Yeah. She's got a little necklace in her possession, and she bamfs to a pocket dimension. Can she bamf with items?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm like 90% sure.
Yeah, double check that.
I will.
But yeah, you come running out of the house with a shield, and Cedar stands up and like starts screaming. I was like, "You did it! Your back is bleeding."
Small price.
Cool. That's a good one, man. And he's like, "I think I'm gonna go to sleep. Day, you coming?"
Sure do.
And he sort of like puts a hand out. He's like, "Did I tell you about the time I got sent to the past?
No, but I would love to hear about that.
I shared beers with the original Mad Hatter." And he sort of like takes you inside as he's talking about like the events that happened.
Did I hear that?
No.
No.
I think you're a little concerned with it. I don't know. Give me a perception check. At disadvantage, as you are feeling the pain sort of radiate from your back, and are also looking at your new prize that you won.
Perception.
Yep.
Try to get that perception.
12.
So, no. You know he's sort of being loud and trying to woo Day as he brings her inside and talks about how he shared drinks with the original Mad Hatter.
I'm gonna talk to Enwin in private.
Cool.
I don't know how this is gonna work out, bringing people back, the numbers. It's hard to tell what's gonna work. Are you willing to do whatever it takes
Whatever it takes to do what?
to get us all back?
Oh, I made a promise to get this back.
Okay.
You're the one holding the truth from. So
king here said he's willing to do anything to get back.
So I heard.
And that doorknob might be able to get us back.
As I understand, it takes one back.
It opens a portal. That's just the ingredients needed.
All right. We can get them. That's fine.
Okay. As long as we're on the same page.
Right.
All right. And then I'm gonna do a sending to Flint. Okay. I'm close. Where are you specifically? Any information helps. Let the king know I'm coming. He may not be happy. Don't care. I'm rescuing you.
How many words does he get?
25.
He says, I love you. Your timing is great. I'm set to die tomorrow. Apparently, I'm too loud. Middle tier. West Wing. Thank you. I love you.
Damn, I wanted to say it first. Okay.
I think you receive a sending not too long after that. That's essentially like, ha ha, I said it first, suck it. Do you say anything back?
I love you too.
And that's what will end tonight's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight and joining us for a wonderful episode of Wonder. Next week, be battle ready, kids. It's going to get a little hairy as we've got some numbers to deal with in terms of the numbers game of getting people back and who has items. I would say that you guys know that the doorknob needs a little bit of time, so if you're going to give the doorknob to anyone else other than Enwin, it should be done tonight, or that night, before you set out the next morning, okay? That'll give you, I'm going to give you guys the week to get your game plans in order and to figure out how you're going to handle this. Take a look at your item list so you know exactly what you have on your possession and how you can best utilize that once you get in. But all of that being said, great decisions across the board. Great RP across the board. We have some decisions to make, and we have some new paths that our characters are going to take. We love you guys so much. There's always a spot at our table for each and every one of you. Thank you for tuning in with 500 Week. Tune in on Thursday for the special Indigo Explorers League one-shot and to hear about all the fascinating, fun details that we're going to have about opening this up to each and every one of you viewers to possibly join up with the Adventurers League. And Explorers League. So we would love to have you be a part of that. We love you guys. Keep tuning in. The last two chances to win an Indigo 500 coin. We'll see you soon. Indigo Connect. And hey, do you wonder? Bye guys. We'll see you soon.